Today I have the wonderful pleasure of interviewing Georgia Findlay, actor, playwright, and producer. Today we talk about a Fringe show, Milk Milk Lemonade, that she produced. We also talk about her upcoming performance in The 39 Steps at Scarborough Guild Festival Theatre. It opens up this Friday, so be sure to get your tickets. I'm so excited to see this play. We also talk about typecasting, theater school, and so much more. But before we get into the interview, if you could hit the subscribe button, it helps us out so much, and it doesn't cost you a damn thing. Welcome and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Fringe just ended, but I want to talk about Milk Milk Lemonade. We'll start off with you got 2 awards, I think, for Milk Milk Lemonade. So tell me about the awards and how the run went.
Oh my gosh, it was so exciting. So the run went really well. We were in a 50-seater, so like you never have like massive crowds, but it sold quite well. And most of that was just through word of mouth, which is nice. We did get some really positive reviews, but like it wasn't like the big publications that I think people maybe check more regularly, but everyone who saw it or did any kind of reflection on it had nothing but positive things to say. And I was just really proud of them. Like I was the producer, so the creative was not my idea or anything like that. So it was just really cool to be like supporting and also just like be with such a strong team, and to see their vision really resonate with people was really nice. And then the awards, like I actually didn't go to the ceremony. I think watching another Fringe show, trying to get them in where I could. And they almost didn't go because they were just like, why? Like, I think especially for something like a comedy at the Fringe, there's so much comedy at Fringe. Yeah. So to get your hopes up to win a comedy award at a festival where it's like half comedy, at least, just feels like, an exercise in disappointment. But I mean, I literally went to a Fringe show and then I like turned my phone on and I get 2 notifications saying, we won the Second City Best Comedy Award and we won the Strange Maker Award, which is so amazing. And like, it just meant so much to be recognized in that way for them, because especially for something like an award that's decided by jurors, like, it's always nice to get a critic's pick or a good review, but that's one person's opinion, right? To be like chosen by a consensus is really flattering, and they worked so hard to put this all together, and it's just like the best possible outcome, and they were already so happy just to do the show and have fun, so it's just like absolute cherry on top.
That's amazing. That is so cool. And was this your first time producing a show?
No. So, well, like, it felt kind of like it, but it wasn't. So, I've produced shows twice now before this, but both times it was the same show, and it was a show that I had written and was also performing in. So, I was wearing a lot of hats, and I maybe bit off a bit more than I can chew, because when it's your like creative baby, it's so hard to kill your darlings and like make the logical, efficient decision. You always go for the thing that you think is going to make a bigger impression. But going into this, it was easier for me to be an outside eye and be more objective and just think like logistically, like, we were debating about how many hours we needed to rehearse and how many of those hours needed to be in a rented space, whereas like where can we do rehearsals in like a public space, like a park or something like that. So I was just thinking so much more like logistically and realistically, and I think it's a benefit for them because of course they were the same as I was the last time, where it's this is my precious baby and I want to give it everything it deserves. And it was good for me to learn because I just got to see a whole different side of that role. And I did like it. It was a lot by the end because it was overlapping with rehearsals that I'm in as a performer. But I'm so glad I did it, and I'm so glad it worked out. And yeah, I was really honored to be asked to be part of the team. And so to see it all come to fruition and go so well is like really exciting for me.
Amazing. What's your favorite part about producing?
I mean, I think I enjoy marketing. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people do. Like, it's coming up with those little graphics and doing the silly captions. It did end up being a lot more time consuming than I was expecting. Like, I was going out to rehearsal every day on the GO train and just on my little Canva app, making a little graphic, enhance this, erase that, add a little pull quote. But I love it when those come together and they look good. I also really like doing video content. I did a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of film production and post-production in high school. And I really liked editing, so putting together video stuff is always fun. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted on this one, but I put together a really fun video for our GoFundMe campaign, which went really well and we surpassed our goal. And that's another thing I really like about producing. As much as it's always awkward to ask people for money, through my experiences, the last now 3 shows that I've produced, I feel like I've got a good handle on how to grab people's attention when so many people are looking for support, especially financially. So putting together like a snazzy video, this is a hot tip. If anyone's doing a GoFundMe or any kind of crowdfunding thing, put the time in, make a video. People are lazy, they don't want to read the text. So if you make something that's like eye-catching and entertaining in like less than 5 minutes, I don't know if that is the reason that people donated, but it certainly feels like it helped. And it's fun, you get like, put some rehearsal footage in there, get some, royalty-free music, put that under there, do like a little mini interview, and then put up some graphics with like the dates and times, and I feel like it just helps you stand out. So I was working on that for a long time, but when it was finally done and we launched, you just get to see the fruits of your labor so quickly when people decide to jump on board and support. So yeah, I like that.
Amazing. That's great advice. Yeah, people are lazy and don't read captions.
Well, and it's crazy because I've seen some incredible shows, and then I'll go and I'll want to donate to their GoFundMe, and I'll see that they're way below their goal, and it's always surprising to me. But you have to be aggressive with sending people emails, even though it feels icky, but you got to do it, and you never know who might be willing or happy to support you. And like the worst thing they're gonna do is probably not even say no, just not reply and
just not reply at all.
But like so many people that I like didn't even expect will just like drop, way more than I ever expect. But people really want to support the arts, but you have to put it in front of them. And I try to donate as much as I can, but I am also just an independent artist. But I like to pay it forward if I'm able to. Yeah, and I think I haven't gotten the hang of grant writing yet, so that's kind of my next hurdle. But in terms of crowdfunding, I do feel fairly confident in my approach so far. We'll see if it continues like that. But I would love to get some funding so I can stop asking my family and friends for money, because at a certain point they're gonna be like, "We've given you enough, okay?" We're the same people most of the time, maybe a couple extras, but
Right.
My email list only grows by so many every year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel that to my core. They're like, again? You...
No, this time it's really important. The last time, that was nothing. This one.
Yeah, this is actually going to change the trajectory of my life. So.
Yeah. 100%. This Fringe show is going to make me famous.
Exactly. You never know who's going to see it, which is true. But yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic with my career of this will be the performance that casting director sees or that director sees that will just send me to the stars.
It'll transfer straight from the Toronto Fringe right to Broadway, just skip all the steps. Someone will recognize my
There's
genius.
no in between. It's Fringe or Broadway.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's hilarious. And so your rehearsals that you've started in now, tell me about that show that's coming up.
Yes, so I'm performing in the 39 Steps at the Guild Festival Theater in Scarborough. It is the best. It is a show that I've wanted to do for a long time. I was lucky enough to see it, I want to say twice in 1 year, just coincidentally. Nice. I did a year at the University of King's College in Halifax, and they did it there either in late 2015 or early 2016, and then it was done at Soul Pepper later in 2016, and I was going to George Brown at the time, so I was in the building and I got to see it. And I'm such a fan of the era. So it's inspired by an Alfred Hitchcock film, one of the early ones from the 30s. It's like a man on the run, mistaken identity, spy thriller, but also has a lot of screwball comedy and romantic parts. And that's just the film. So the play is a comedic adaptation of that. But honestly, it keeps a lot of what is in the film. If you watch it, it's like, sure, there's comedic bits added, but they're very subtle, and the comedy really comes from the amazing like theatrical feat that is to do this production, because it is like 150 characters played by only 4 actors, and most of the sets are, you know, very small set pieces or props that are just being moved around by the actors to create whatever, you know, location they need to be in next. So a lot of boxes and trunks and, you know, a couple chairs, but things that transform into other things. And they happen so quickly and so expertly that it's just like, it's a total spectacle, and it really is, it is just a reminder of like the unique magic of theater, I feel like, because it is based on this film, but like the element that makes it exciting is the fact that it's theater, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome. So how many characters do you play?
So I only play 3.
Okay.
Just a, you know, a reasonable, easy number. But
Right.
basically, it's so not everyone is tackling the same amount of roles. The lead character, Richard Hannay, is played by one actor, and that's all he plays. It's by Sebastian Hines, who is incredible. And then I basically play all the women, specifically like the love interests in the play. So he encounters 3 women throughout that he has sort of, you know, romantic or sensual encounters with, you know, a lot of will they, won't they, who will he end up with. So those are my parts. Their names are Annabella Schmidt, who is a German woman. Then we've got the Scottish Margaret, and then we've got the British one, who is Pamela Edwards. And then our 2 other incredible actors, Kiana Wu and Isaiah Kalunzik, are playing Clown 1 and Clown 2, who play everyone else. So those 2 are just, it's like an Olympic event to watch them. They are running constantly, changing accents, changing hats, changing costumes. Like, it is incredible to watch. I always feel a little guilty because I kind of get more opportunity to like sit down and, you know, slowly change my hair and my costume and, you know, put my little hat on, and they're like within the same scene. So they'll sometimes have conversations where they're basically talking to themselves. So it's incredible to watch. And it's one of the most fun parts of any production of this show, because that's always the case. But it's just been so cool to see, like, the exciting, inventive ways they find to make it work and make it entertaining and make it clear. Because it's so easy for that stuff to get lost if you're playing multiple characters in one scene. The audience needs to know what's going on, and they don't always. So I'm so excited for people to see them and just, like, be in awe of the crazy stuff they're doing.
Amazing. And do you have to see the film before you see the theater show?
Would not say so. I think it really depends on the kind of person you are. I think I'm someone who enjoys spoilers. It's not a quality I'm like proud of, but I like knowing what happens because it makes me excited to see how it happens. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Specifically
Okay.
with horror movies, I find, because I get scared really easily. So I want to know the entire plot, whether before I decide if it's worth me actually watching it, or is knowing how it ends enough for me, you know?
That is so
That's just a
funny.
personal thing. But, you know, like, if you see the movie beforehand, it will spoil the show, but I don't think, not spoil in the sense of ruin, just spoil in the sense of you'll know what the plot
You'll
is
know
and
what
how it
happens.
ends, because it doesn't diverge from the plot points of the movie. It is very much the same structure. I think it would be fun to watch the movie afterwards and spot all the moments that are the same, which is a lot of them. And I only saw the film for the first time this year after having seen it a few times, and there were bits that I was certain were just for the play because the play is a comedy, and I thought, oh, surely this hilarious part isn't in the film. It is. The movie's funny, honestly. It's like, you know, it was before Hitchcock was really sort of a master of suspense and even horror. It was more of just like a romance adventure, and there is a lot of comedy in it. Obviously, we take it to a whole other level, but there's some very funny parts, and it feels like it's like half romantic comedy. But anyway, I would recommend the film. I know I think it might be available on YouTube, honestly, but I know it's also on the Criterion Collection. But I mean, I don't think you need it to see the show, but if you want to see it, go right ahead. And then you can see how we translated some of the more ambitious sequences. Like, there's parts on with trains, planes, and automobiles. All of the above are in this show, and we find a way to make it with, like, just us and some chairs and boxes, so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's the fun and excitement of live theater.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the rehearsal process?
I mean, all of it. I think
That's fair.
people sometimes ask me, like, what's my favorite part of, like, acting or, like, doing theater? And I would say it is rehearsing. Like, of course I love to perform and I love when an audience gets to see it, but, like, the joy really comes in putting it together, and that's when you get the opportunity to bond the most with the team and, like, ask a lot of questions and find out, like, just make new discoveries that you maybe weren't expecting on the first, you know, glance at the script. And I'm really a big fan of table work and just, like, going through and dissecting a script. And this play hasn't had quite as much of that just because it's so physical, but we did have moments where, for more quiet or intimate scenes, we really talked through, okay, what is this character feeling right now? What are they thinking? How do they feel about each other in this moment? And it gave me so many great realizations that I don't think I would have gotten if we hadn't discussed it. So that kind of stuff always just gets me really excited and makes it such a richer experience. Because I think on a first attempt, it's very easy to take the sort of the surface interpretation of whatever the text is saying. But then once you get a chance to really look at it closely and spitball with other people, it's like, oh, this character is a lot more complicated than I thought, and how can I, as an actor, convey what I've just realized about them so that the audience sees it too. So I love that.
Nice. That's awesome. What is your 3 things that you have to bring to rehearsal?
Oh God. Well, this rehearsal is unique because it is outside. So some things I would normally bring to rehearsal might not apply as much here, because this one, sunscreen,
Yes.
hat, bug spray, you know. That's sunscreen more than anything. I have gotten a little burnt, but it could be worse. It could be better as well. I'm very happy that my costumes are high-necked because my chest is currently red. But I would say, I mean, water, pencil, you know, script. I don't know. I'm a big fan of hydration. I like to stay very hydrated at all times. I'm constantly going to the bathroom, but I just drink so much water. So a big old water bottle, and then probably something else too, like maybe a tea or something. So,
yeah.
and snacks are important as well. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome. And when is that show happening?
So we open this Friday, so July 18th, and we go until August 3rd. So we get a nice, I think that's 3 weeks. So I'm really excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. Like, I'm nervous in
That
a
is so
good
cool.
way. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And where is it happening?
So it is at the Guild Festival Theater. It is in Scarborough. Basically, I'll give you directions right now. Go to Kennedy Station, the end of the Green Line in the east, and then you get on the 116 bus, and it basically takes you right to the gates of the Guildwood Park. And then you go in there and I'm sure there'll be signs. But something else that they're doing this year that is really exciting is on all the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday performances, they are having a shuttle bus taking people from Kennedy Station right to the theater. And they're going to be doing like a pre-show in the theme of the play that you're seeing. So they're doing that for this one and for the next show in their season, Horatio. I'm not sure who's going to do it. Apparently they were, hiring actors for it. Not people who are in the cast, because we'll be, doing our little warm-ups and stuff. But I think it's such a cool idea. They just got a grant for it this year, and I just think it's so unique. And also because, it is a gorgeous theater. It's an outdoor theater on this Greek stage. Everything is, concrete or marble stone, and there's these pillars, and there's busts of Hercules, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. But because it's, a bit east, even though it's still technically in Toronto, people will not want to make the trek, but I think it's really worth it. And they're trying to make it easier and more fun for people. So even if it feels far, I would definitely recommend taking a trip out. And to anyone who feels like they're not willing to commute that far just for an hour and a half-ish show, I keep saying to people, make a day of it, because it's right near the Scarborough Bluffs. Yes. So you can bring a date, bring your friends, have a picnic, go to the water, and then come and see this gorgeous theater and some really a really entertaining show, and then head home. And it's just, you can make such a lovely trip out of it. So if that is deterring anyone, I would say just think outside the box, because this could be a special experience. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you go to Toronto Island for fun, you can go to Scarborough.
Oh yeah, people act like it's Siberia. I'm it's
I know,
Scarborough.
They're it's so far.
It really isn't, and it's direct. It's really it's literally, even without the shuttle bus, it's subway, bus, and then walk into a park. That's it.
Exactly.
So simple.
It's really easy. Yeah. There's no excuses, people. You gotta get to the show.
And if I can do it twice a day for rehearsal, you can do it once for me.
Right. And there is a GO station nearby. I don't know what the GO bus would be from there. Or
so I've been taking the GO train most of the time just because it's comfy. But there's kind of two ways to go from there. So you can get off at Eglinton GO and then get on the same bus that you would from Kennedy, which is the 116, and again, it goes straight there. Or you can get off at Guildwood GO, and then it's a 20-minute walk. I frequently do that because it's kind of a nice walk, but when it's really hot, I try to take the bus. But either way, it's very accessible. Just if you haven't been out that way, it might not register as easy to get to, but it's not hard. It's long, depending on where you're coming from. I'm coming from, the west end of Toronto, but it's, it's not a maze to get to. I've gone to some shows recently where I'm I feel like I've lost all sense of direction. Google Maps is leading me in circles.
Yeah, especially with the streetcars and the buses, rerouting and closing and opening and rerouting, and you're what have I done?
No, I know. Yeah.
So it's very direct. No excuses. You gotta go see.
There we go. No excuses. Everyone, it's mandatory.
That's right.
Sorry.
And how many shows are you doing in a week? Because you have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows. Do you have others during the week?
We're doing so we're doing, I want to say 6 shows a week. We have a show every day but Monday. Yeah. So the shuttle's only on the weekend performances, but we're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and my big hope is that we don't get rained out, because this is not a theater with a canopy. This is very much in the elements. So I've been looking at the forecast, being any of those potentially rainy days, I'm hoping it all happens in the morning. But we'll see. It does happen. That's, outdoor theater. It's one of the hazards of doing it. But, I would hate to lose one of our dates, because it's going to be really exciting, and it would be a big loss for the audience, but also for...
Yeah, right? Yeah. You put in the work, so it's good to do the shows.
Yeah.
And it was 3 weeks, you said, right? This
I think,
Friday.
Something like that. 3 or 2.5, something like that.
3, 2.5.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah. think it's the longest run I personally have done. I was actually there. I worked on The Drowning Girls with them at the same theater 2 years ago, and we had way few. I want to say we had maybe half. I want to say we had like between 8 and 10 performances, and now we have about 15 or 16.
Nice.
So it's nice to get to do more, just more. When you put so much work and time and effort into it, it's like it always feels like a shame when it's just like, and now it's gone.
Yes, so you're just like, and 3 shows and done. And you're like,
Yeah, and you
really
usually start hitting your
digested.
stride like it gets
Yes.
really good at like the 4th show, and so then it's like, well, if it's 4 of 8, I'm like, oh, we're almost halfway done. Oh no, I just
Right.
figured out what I'm doing. So
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's fun. And how long was the rehearsal process? When did you guys start?
It was great. So it was longer than I am used to, but in a interesting way. So it was a month, but it was technically part-time. So we did around 25 or 27 hours a week. So it was like typically 3 8-hour days and then 1 4-hour day.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that because so often theater rehearsals can be so condensed, like 2 weeks, maybe 3, and it's just go, 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 and you hardly have time to like catch your breath. But with this, we were able to let it settle and like sit with things, and I think it took some of the stress out, at least for me, because I wasn't, yeah, like I wasn't worried, like if I don't get my lines memorized by this time, like we're 5 days from opening, like what am I going to do? I was able to, focus on different things at different times, and then it just sort of became like in my body and like lived in. So we started, I think our first rehearsal was, let me check my calendar, it was June 16th. So, it's been a little while. It allowed us to get to know each other better, which is nice, and helps with the comfort of, being a team all together. And yeah, it's over, it'll be over a month when we open. So
Nice.
I've had other processes where it's like 10 rehearsal days and then it's year open, or if it's for a Fringe show or something like that, it's a lot longer, but it's much shorter rehearsals, like 3-4 hours a couple times a week in the
Yeah.
evening. So to have this dedicated time, but also time for it to breathe, was really nice.
Nice. I like that. That's awesome. Speaking of Fringe, how many shows did you get to see?
I saw 12.
Nice.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Thank you.
Do you have any standout favorites?
Iris Says Goodbye was really, really good.
I heard so many
Yeah.
good things about that one, and I didn't see it.
I know. And you know what? I almost didn't see it because it was after I had bought my tickets really early because I knew it was going to sell out. But I bought it for a 10 p.m. show, and I had already seen
okay.
2 other shows that day, and I had been coming from rehearsal. So I was
Jeez.
hot, sweaty, exhausted, and I had been, in the other 2 shows, I had been kind of like, struggling
Right.
to stay attentive, and my boyfriend Wanzi was with me, and he really wanted to see it, but he was like, oh, we can go if you really want, and we were trying to exchange our tickets, but there weren't any other dates available, and I was like, oh, fine, I'll rally. And it was just like immediately so engaging and energizing and creative, and like, I definitely was not losing focus at all, and the music was gorgeous, and the cast was so tight in their like choreography and performances, and it was such a cool concept because it was this sort of choose your own adventure style where the audience would pick different items that correlated to different songs and sort of different outcomes in a play. So I have no idea how many songs total they have written,
Right?
but all the ones we heard were gorgeous. But I would love, it's the kind of thing where you can so easily justify going again because
Yes.
it could be so different the next time. And it was cool to like talk to other people who saw it and be like, which songs did you see? And like, some people would be like, oh, this was the best part. And I'm like, I didn't even see that part. So that was really cool. And I'm trying to think, was there anything else? I mean, there was I finally got to see Confessions of a Redheaded Coffee Shop Girl by Rebecca Perry, who has been just like a lovely person that I got to connect with the first time I did Fringe, and we've had a sort of friendship ever since, and it was really nice to finally see her, you know, famous one woman show that has been selling out in Edinburgh and in Toronto and various fringes for 10 years now. So it was really cool to see that, and there was a lot of great stuff. Honestly, I always love the Fringe, and my mindset going into it is always kind of like, I'm very open-minded to things not being all the way there. I actually kind of relish seeing shows that are even like kind of bad, because it just reminds me that theater is for everyone. And it's so easy to be gatekeepy about quality and production value and like having the perfect script and the perfect cast. But like, it is a fun thing to do. And to see people put themselves out there and be creative, even if it doesn't really land with the audience, I think it's a really brave thing to do, putting out like original work, which it usually is. So seeing things where I'm like, oh, that was a little awkward, or like maybe they're not the most confident or whatever, like it almost sometimes inspires me more than the really polished products, because like these are people who like took a chance and took a risk and did something creative and really stuck to their guns. And even if like maybe it's not getting glowing reviews, it's still worth seeing and supporting, because like you don't want to discourage people from being creative, you know. Like, what's the harm? It doesn't hurt you if someone's doing theater that you don't think is good. Like, who cares? It's subjective. It's for everyone. Like, if, you know, visual art, like, you don't stop people from drawing because you don't think they're good at it. They do it because they enjoy it. And Fringe is supposed to be for everyone. That's why it's a lottery. It's equal opportunity. And that means some people are really experienced and some people are not. And I think that's like the charm of it. So it's like, it's always a crapshoot, and I always find something to take away from pretty much every show.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year I did some reviews and I started off by being like, okay, if I didn't like it, you still did the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty, putting on any kind of show, making any kind of short film, posting on social media. Like, it all takes so much work and effort.
Yeah.
It's not easy things to do. So yeah, if you were in the Fringe and you did the thing, like, you did the thing.
Yeah, and like, as someone who's actually like done it, like if you haven't done it, maybe you don't have that same perspective, but like the amount of work that goes into it, it's just like, why am I poo-pooing someone's hard work? Also, it's funny because I would say I am like a pretty critical person when it comes to the art that I watch, but like I try not to like, you know, actually just insult things. It's more just like, here's what I think worked, here's what I think didn't. But I'm a bit more critical of things that I like have high expectations for, you know. If people tell me, oh, it's really good, oh, this is a writer to watch, this performer is outstanding, the direction, the set, whatever, I'm going in with the, not trying to be critical, but like I'm not as easily
going in
just
with
like,
an expectation.
Yeah, I'm not as easily impressed by just like anything. But when I'm just sort of like taking a chance on something, it's like full clean slate. Like, I just want to see what you came up with.
Yeah.
It's more that like I try not to buy into hype too much. So if something has a lot of hype, I'm like, I'm gonna treat it like it's anything else. You know, or, well, I guess not. I'm gonna treat it like it's, okay, well, where's the hype? You know, but like, again, like it's just a mindset thing, and at the end of the day, I always respect the artist. It's just sometimes I'm like, well, I mean, it didn't change my life like everyone told me it would, but it was great. And then I'll see something else that was like, honestly, probably pretty bad, and I'll be like, that was incredible and gave me so many ideas. And
right, it's just so inspiring.
I think it's especially inspiring for me whenever I'm second guessing myself in terms of like creating a new project, because I'm like, I don't need the permission of like critics necessarily to do my work, because these people are out here doing all kinds of wacky stuff, and maybe I'm sitting there being like uncomfortable and not enjoying it, but they still did it, and it's still like someone enjoyed it and they enjoyed it and they worked so hard, and it's just like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? It always feels like,
Yes.
here's an example of someone having an idea and pursuing it. So if I'm over here being like, my idea's not good enough, like, who cares? Just try
Right.
it. If someone doesn't like it, oh, God forbid. Like, you still learned something, you still made something, and that is impressive in itself. So,
Yes, exactly. I had that this year, Stratford versus Fringe, I'll do. So I really liked Coriolanus from like a couple years back, and it was
yeah,
the
me
same
too.
director who's doing Macbeth. So my expectations were super high, but then I was super critical, and I was like, okay, it wasn't. I like Coriolanus better, but
Yeah,
it still, obviously, it's Stratford.
of course.
Like they did the thing, and
Yeah.
it was great. Budgets awesome. So, and then at the Fringe, I saw a couple of musicals that were done by like people in their young 20s,
Yeah.
and I was like, get it, this is
I
awesome. Like, do I
know.
feel like I saw a finished product? Absolutely not, but like the bones are good. And like, good
Yeah,
for you. At your age, I wasn't swinging for the fences
I
like that.
know.
Like, that's amazing. So yeah, it's definitely
No, I
definitely
totally
different.
hear you. Yeah, like with
Perspectives
things
for
like
sure.
Stratford and Shaw, like I love going, but I'm definitely
Yeah.
more like, okay, impress me. You've got this huge budget. What'd you do with it? And then
Right?
yeah, Fringe, I'm like,
Like your
everyone there's
32nd
making,
season.
yeah, the Fringe budget's like $50,
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
with musicals, I'm not as much of a musical person, but also because I
Yeah.
don't know how to do it. And so when I see people writing original music, I'm like,
Right.
and it's not just like, being like a singer-songwriter or in a band. It's like you orchestrated music and you wrote it with a plot and characters and there's harmonies and then you
Right?
choreographed a dance. Like it blows
It's
my
so
mind.
many moving parts for a
Yes.
musical. Like I agree. Like I'm not a huge musical person, and again because I don't know a lot about it, and more I like more straight plays. But yeah, these it was like the fringe of musicals for me. I
Yeah.
saw a bunch, and they were fantastic. I was like, how
Yeah.
do you? I can't even begin to comprehend making a song that I just like haven't already heard.
I know. I know. Yeah, exactly. Well,
I
and
mean,
you know
my
what?
musical would just be parodies.
I do love writing song parodies. That's one
Yeah.
thing I've got up my sleeve if I ever needed to write a musical, but like
Excellent.
stupid stuff. And like
Yes.
it's funny because going back to saying like seeing fringe shows or even fringe shows that are like lower on the quality scale inspires me to be like, who cares? Do whatever, be creative. Sometimes when I see these musicals, it's like the opposite. I just get mad imposter syndrome and I'm like, well, gee, like, there are people out here that can do that. I'm over here, like, trying my best, and you just wrote a whole musical, and you've got, like, an incredible cast singing it, something like angels, and I'm like, I like doing
Yeah.
plays. So it's like, it's humbling, to
Yes.
see a
Yes.
completely original new musical full of people my age sounding like
Yeah.
a choir from heaven. And I'm just
Right?
like, oh, yes, we are peers. Yes, totally.
I
We do
know,
the
right?
same thing.
Yeah, and I also love the thing I love about Fringe too is that obviously they're not doing like Hollywood casting where they're picking everybody that looks like a model. Like you see everybody looking like every kind of way, and that's also kind of inspiring in a different
Yeah.
way of being like, oh yeah, I don't have to be thin to just do something on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We don't
Yeah,
need to
it's
wait
the
for
best.
permission
Funny,
for those things.
like, it's a great point because I have had, as many actors and performers do, I've had my journey with my body image and just self-esteem and all that stuff. And in theater school and prior to that, I got typecast a lot as like the mom or the man, like just things that
Yes.
didn't resonate with me in my personal experience, but because I'm like taller and
I was gonna say, how tall are you? Because I'm the same.
yes, I am 5'10.5".
Oh, nice. I'm
And
5'9".
yeah. And
Shout out tall girls.
and I was never like the thinnest as well, and just like it was like pulling teeth to convince teachers that I could play a young woman despite being a young woman. And they'd be like, can you play like in love? And I was like, well, I am. Like, I'm in a relationship, so what makes you think I couldn't like
Right.
portray that? But they just have such a narrow idea of
Yes.
what people can play based on their like just outward judgment, first impression. And so when I wrote my first Fringe show, I literally made myself a glamorous movie star, and I wrote
Yes.
lines of people being like, "You're so pretty." And it wasn't like 100% like intentional just to boost my ego, but it was like, well, I'm writing this for myself. I'm gonna, like, if I want to be glamorous, I'm gonna be glamorous, and you can't tell me I can't because it's my show, you know?
Right.
And, like, there was a lot more to it, obviously, but it was just nice. I was like, this is more, like, this is the kind of work that I'm enjoying, not exclusively,
Yeah.
but, like, I feel confident in this role. But if it was someone else casting this play, maybe they wouldn't give it to me because they don't see it. But I'm like,
Right.
anything goes. I'm in charge. I'm going to give myself this juicy part where I get to wear a beautiful dress and have like gorgeous makeup and just float around the stage, and I'm going to have a great time, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that you use it to be like, and they're gonna call me pretty, and I'm gonna be glamorous. When men have been like, I'll cast myself, and I get to pick the love interest for years. And it's
yeah.
like, I just want to be called pretty. Like, I just want to see a normal
So
person on
sad, but
stage.
it's true, you know? Like, it's just...
I feel like I didn't think that I'd be a leading lady at all until it happened, and then I was like, "Damn, really? Okay."
Yeah.
But
Well-
yeah, because I was tall and not thin, I was like, I'm the funny side character.
No, exactly. And the funny thing for me is that, like, I would love to be the funny side character, but I don't know that that's actually what I'm good at, you know? But people would decide, you must be good at this because you look like how I picture it. And I was like, that's
Right.
just not fair and not accurate, you know? That's a skill set I would actually love to grow. Like, I want to work on my, like versatility in terms of like being more of a character actor, but like I don't think it's like my natural state of being as an artist. And yeah, like trying to prove that to people has been sort of like it's been a bit of a chip on my shoulder, to be honest, for a long time. It's just like, why don't you believe me that I can do this thing, or even just give me the chance to show you that I can do the thing?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm so grateful for, like going back to doing the 39 steps, is like I am playing all the love interests and like the
Yes.
femme fatales, and it's so funny reading the script because the stage directions are always like, he sees her, she looks so beautiful, my god, never seen a more beautiful woman. And I was like, well,
Right?
I don't say. But you know, like, it really shouldn't matter that much, and I hope that one day it doesn't matter at all to me. But it's meaningful to me that they were able to see me in this role and they wanted me for it, and there was never a thought of like, oh, she's not believably pretty enough. Like, what is
Yeah.
that? What is that conversation?
Right.
It is so stupid.
Right.
But it's something I've heard, you know, and I was really, I mean, honored to get to do the show and work with this cast, but like it is just for my own personal self-esteem, like it's a real boost. And also just I love playing these women, and I feel like a kinship with them, and it's great. And not feeling like I have to fight for people to believe me it's
Yeah.
really reassuring after a long time of basically people telling me that I would never play roles like this. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
look, I am, you know? That's not to say this will be the kind of thing that I always do, but I'm doing it now, and I'm really proud of the work that I'm doing, and it's definitely like healing some stuff that has been stuck in me for a long time because of things that other people have put on me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's mind blowing. Like, I didn't even think about where it came from of the, oh, I'll never be a leading lady. And it's like, well, it was the brainwashing and conditioning and other people saying it. And you're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
do need to evaluate and reassess that part. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I did an audition for a theater school once and I did a Juliet monologue and someone was like, I don't think you should do that monologue. And I was like, why? And they're like, I just don't think it's reflective of like what you can do. And I was like, what do you mean? Is it because you think I'm doing a bad job on the monologue or because you wouldn't cast me as Juliet? Like, it was just,
Right?
it felt like it was all kind of under the surface. Like, people weren't over
Yeah.
here calling me ugly to my face. But it was a
Yeah.
tone thing, it was a subliminal, it was the
Yes.
way that people would just see me and treat me. And it's so funny. This is an example I always use in theater school. We did a scene study of this play by Eugene O'Neill called A Moon for the Misbegotten. It is the lesser known sequel to Long Day's Journey into Night. And there is a character, the main character, his name is Josie. And she's a great character. She's like really tough and like vulnerable, but like really strong-minded and doesn't take crap. And but the physical description of her is like it basically he described me to a T. Like he said, she's 5'10", she has like brown curly hair, she has blue eyes, you know, just like it literally said what her weight was, and it was my weight at the time, and I was like, what's going on? And so it describes her exact features.
This is me.
Yeah, it describes her exact features, but then after the description, it goes, you know, disgustingly horrible looking and ugly. And I was like, ugh!
Stop.
Oh my god! I've never been so insulted in my life! Eugene
Oh my
O'Neill just called me
God.
ugly! Like, actually. You
Oh
know, it
my
wasn't just
God.
someone saying, like, oh, you should play this part, she's ugly. It's like, read the description of this character, it is you, and you are ugly. And I was like, Jesus!
What? But I was like,
Horrible.
yeah, 5'10", bombshell, blue.
No.
Yeah.
No,
What?
they're like, who could possibly love her? And the whole story is like this guy finding her attractive despite the fact that she is so objectively unattractive.
Oh my
And then of course
God.
people read the script and were like messaging me being like, oh my god, it's so you. You're gonna get it. And I was like, I know what you're saying, but also shut up.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the funniest part was that ended up being one of the hardest roles I ever played because despite matching the physical description, the character was actually really different from me. And so I was glad I did it in the end because it was like a big stretch, but it is that like the flaw of typecasting where it's like
Yeah.
you guys thought this was just I was going to knock it out of the park because I fit the physical description. But it was really hard because I'm not that kind of person. And so I had to like reach a lot deeper to get that like gruff and tough, like, you know, sort of tomboyish mentality because I'm actually just very delicate. And people don't say that because
Right.
I'm tall and big and loud, but I'm just a little flower deep down, you know.
Right?
I wilt
I know.
easily.
Yeah, I always say of like any like sad video of any animal, a cute video of a proposal or a baby, I'm crying. I'm just
I'm a
always
Pisces. I'm 90% water, you know?
crying. That's hilarious. Yeah, I've had breakdowns like that. I think one was I like when they put not model type in the description. Like just say fat. Like,
Right? Oh my
like,
god.
just say what you mean. But it was like also for diabetes medication, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, damn. Okay, I get it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, one of my teachers in theater school once told me that she didn't think I would like really work until I was old enough to play mothers, like young mothers, and I was like, rude. But also, like, I was like 22 at the time. I was like, me, a mom? What do you mean? But like, they were just like, well,
I'm still like
but you
that.
look old because, which is also funny to me because I'm like, being tall doesn't make you old. Old people actually shrink.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you know?
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Exactly. Yeah, I get a lot of that too. I upped my. I mean, I've always looked older since like infancy,
Same.
and so everybody's always assumes that I'm older than I am. But yeah, what a backwards compliment that is to be like, when you look like mom age, you'll be a great mom
Oh yeah.
actor. Like,
Well, and they would try to make it like a compliment slash a diss to other people, but they were like, well, but the people who can play young, eventually they'll be old and they can't play young anymore, but you will age into your success. And I was like, great. That feels awesome. Thank you so
woo, so
much.
happy,
You
so
know, and,
happy
and
I'll
I'm
have to
glad to
wait for
report
my
that so
success.
far that is not the case. And most of the roles I've been given have been pretty young. And I'm like, yeah, I'm youthful. I'm just a little
That's right.
girl. Like, come on.
Right? That's hilarious. I
Yes.
think within the same year, I played a 29-year-old, and that which I was 29, and then I played a woman with children moving it out into college.
Oh
And
wow.
I
That
was
was
like, uh, so I
that's
was
wild.
like a child bride.
Yeah, you had those kids when you were what, 11? Something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
was like 12.
Which I mean, I'm not going to
Which,
comment
I
on
mean,
yeah,
totally
things happen in the
happens.
world that are very sad. Um,
Yeah. But
yeah.
it was definitely, yeah, it was definitely not her story.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I get it. Thank you
I've
so
finally gotten
much.
to an age where I think I kind of look my age. People for a
Mm,
long time told me I looked mature. I looked so
yeah.
much older than I was, and people would always guess that I was older than I was. And nowadays, when I try to like pull the trick of like guess how old I am, people now have started guessing accurately, and it's less fun. But also, I'm like, yes, finally. I'm like it's like
Right.
Benjamin Button, you know? Like I finally met up with the correct
The correct
age.
age
Yeah.
and face.
Yeah, it's great. I've just
That's
looked 28
hilarious.
for my entire life, and now I'm like,
That's what
here
I
I am.
literally told people. I'm like, I've looked 30 for quite a long time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then now I'm 32. I'm like, I gotta up it a little
No,
bit.
no, because now you're 32, and everyone's gonna be like, you look 30. You know, like it's gonna just,
We can hope.
yeah, you hit that mark and then you stay there.
Yeah, yeah. If please genetics, please bless me.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's hilarious. And you went to school at York,
At George Brown.
George Brown. George
Yeah.
Brown, nice.
Yeah.
And what was your biggest takeaway from George Brown?
Oh gosh.
She's like,
Oh
not to
my
listen to
goodness.
typecasts.
No, no, here's the thing. It's like I'm saying this stuff, but I did actually have a really good experience in
Hmm.
theater school. Despite, everyone has their mini little traumas and it
Yeah.
certainly wasn't a perfect experience, but like I would say that I definitely enjoyed it and I learned a lot. Um
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, I think God, I think it's humbling. It's good to be a part of like other people's education and their growth as well because I think young people who gravitate towards performance can be a little bit like full of themselves. Not everyone, but I definitely had a
Oh
degree
yeah,
of
no.
that. And like, it's like I want to be on stage, I want attention, all that stuff. And when you're in a cohort of people who all want the same thing, and you have to work together and collaborate, and you see other people's processes and the way that they think of things, it's just like enlightening, and you realize like I'm not alone, and like in a kind of like in a good way, like I'm not special. And I still take that mentality of I'm not special, but not in a, it doesn't feel negative to me. It feels like it is an easier way for me to navigate the industry because now it's like if I book a role, it's like I'm so happy and I'm so excited and I'm really proud of myself. But if I don't, it's not because there's something wrong with me or they hate me or it's personal. It's usually just that someone else was better for it. And like we're all feeling kind of the same thing. Like I auditioned for this role and I was so excited to get it and I'm so disappointed I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So were a bunch of other people who auditioned and that person who did get it is probably so excited. And like it's just like reminding myself that it's like it's not that I lost, it's just that somebody else won and by virtue of someone else winning it means that I didn't. And that's just like how it is. And I think that mentality started for me in theater school. It was like, slow to sink in, but it's like not getting what you want in the arts is can be a blessing in disguise, and like it can just remind you that it's not all about you. Like honestly, like you're trying to make a film, you're one person on a whole giant team. And same with theater,
Yes.
you know. I think a lot of people, especially actors, they're just thinking about their craft and their, you know, career and stuff like that. And it's so much bigger than you. Um, and when you're able to work in an ensemble, that's when you kind of can see that even more. Um, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of other things I learned that were more like, you know, lesson specific. I learned a lot about breathing and how I was holding myself back by clenching my throat, and, you know, just things about how I'm holding myself physically, things about dialect and sound, like so many interesting things. But I think more than anything, just like realizing like you're not a big fish, you're in a school of fish, you know, like you're all swimming together, and it's like be happy for each other, but also like don't worry too much about what everyone else is doing. And I'm saying this, I'm not saying it's always true for me. I still absolutely struggle with comparison, with jealousy, with all these things, and I think it's dishonest to say that I'm not, but like it's not like those are feelings, and I can control my thoughts. I can control if I'm
Yes.
going to take something personally. Of course, disappointment is inherent in this industry, but like you have to train your brain to see it in a different way. So, it's something I'm still learning every single time I audition, but it's really valuable. Yeah.
Amazing. Love that. Awesome. Well, I have anything you wanted me to go over or talk about or ask you before I ask you a final couple questions?
I'm always bad at these kinds of things. I can never think of. I'm that person who, in a job interview, I'll always mess up when they're like, "Any questions for us?" I'm like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that." Questions. What a crazy idea. Yeah. No, I can't think of anything. Sorry.
Alrighty, beautiful. No, that's all right. That means I did my job.
Yes, you covered all of it.
Beautiful. Excellent. All right, tell the people one more time where they can get or where they can see 39 Steps.
Yes. Yes. So the
39
39
Steps.
Steps is playing at the Guild Festival Theater in Scarborough. It's a beautiful Greek theater venue outside. Make a day of it. You can go to the Guild Festival Theater website. I think if you Google it, it'll be the first thing that comes up. It is playing from July 18th to August 3rd. It's going to be, honestly, really good. I feel like I keep jinxing it by saying that, but I just really believe in the team and I love the show that I'm like, not everything is for everyone, but I think it's really good. So if you're
I
asking
love
my
that.
opinion, I think it's going to be great. So you should come see it. Yeah.
That is spectacular. Excellent. And if you could give your younger self any words of wisdom, what would you tell your younger
Oh
self?
no.
I
Oh,
know.
so many things. Oh, that poor little child. Um, I would tell her, like, chill out. Like, I would tell her it's not that serious. You know, I was like a very
Yes.
like emotional child. I was just in my feelings all the time, and everything was like the end of the
Life or
world.
death.
And I kind of calmed down around like middle school, and then by high school I was chilling. But little me, I'm like, I just wish she knew that like it's okay. It's fine. You're fine. Just
Yeah.
like feel your feelings, but um yeah, it's just you will be fine ultimately. Have a snack, have a nap. You'll feel better. You're probably just dehydrated, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much again for doing this and
Thank
meeting
you.
up with me. It's fantastic.
Thank you. It was lovely
I look
talking.
forward to seeing you in 39 Steps.
Yes, see you there.
Thank you so much for listening to this interview and watching on YouTube. If you liked it, hit like. Be sure to grab your tickets to the 39 Steps. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next interview.